Jack here, JBF Music and Guitar Lessons. In this quick guitar trick I'm looking at compound bends, double bends, bends within bends, meta bends, or whatever you want to call them. You know the ones where you hold a bend and then bend it further? Yeah, those. Out of curiosity, what other names have you guys heard used to describe these sorts of bends? I mean, they're really underused and can add a whole lot of emotion to your phrasing and improvisation. It's the second bar that we need to focus on, bending up by small increments, a quarter tone up to half, full, then 1.5 and back down to full. Start slowly and try and get the pitch right, just like you would with normal bending. What also seems to work for me is just slowly bending up in one fluid motion, something like this. So rather than thinking about each individual note, I'm just kind of bending up. Which sounds a bit more authentic to the actual recording. Try and commit the strength your fingers exert for each step of the bend to memory, and in time it should just become muscle memory, which is the real goal for any new technique. There's a bit more leeway with this one. The bluesy quarter tone means you can be a bit less accurate with your intonation and it won't be too noticeable. It's debatable whether this quarter tone bend is in there, but to me when I listened closely it sounded like it was a little bit sharper than just the standard 15th fret. Another thing to do with these is to work out what the target note is in advance. So in effect what we're kind of doing is going That sounds good and accurate. What about a more difficult one? Probably one of the most famous ones, from Daivd Gilmour's solo on The Wall Part 2. Got a few sneaky tricks here, so if you tried this before and struggled, I'm fairly confident at least one of these tactics should work for you. Bending even further this time, a full bend and then up to 2 tones. These are the notes you want to try and pitch. You might find your fingers go under the strings when you're doing this, so under these ones here. If you're doing this, just try and watch out for excess string noise when releasing it. You know, these kind of ringing out like that, just watch out for that kind of thing. I tend to support the bend with my first finger as well. Normally I'd use this to mute the strings, hold it flat, but here it really benefits from having that extra support for the bigger bend. So sneaky trick number 1, if you're finding the going difficult, what you can do is you can use your trem block, provided it's floating, and lean your right palm on it a little bit to raise the pitch, make it a bit sharp. Just a little bit. So there I didn't have to exert half as much force with my left hand because I just leant on my trem block a little bit and, you know, sharpened it a tiny bit. Also, watch out for the bend in that last bar. Your hand will probably be inclined to overbend it, having had to exert more force than usual in the previous bar. Adding some vibrato with the whammy bar here, it's probably easier than with the fingers, and more stylistically accurate to the source material, so feel free to get some of that in there as well. Full bend, 2-tone bend, 2.5-tone bend. Madness. This is a big bend. If you use lighter gauge strings, this might not be too tricky. I normally use 10s, and I wouldn't like to have to do this with too much regularity. Luckily, this is where sneaky trick number 2 comes in. Use your right hand. Not like that, obviously. You still do the bend normally, but reinforce it with the right hand, like this. Try and get that a bit better. So all I'm doing there is I'm pulling the string that I'm bending with my right hand. You could bend it up here and then continue the next 2 bends with your right hand, or you could do the first kind of big bend, second one, and just finish off with this one. It's difficult to demonstrate this slowly because obviously you run out of sustain, so I'll do it a bit quicker there. and hopefully you can get all I'm doing is pulling on the string here. It's a lot more intuitive than you might think to get the pitch. You're just going to trust your ears and they'll probably be able to do it. Your right hand really helps out reinforce the left bend here. Is it cheating? Maybe. But it looks cool as a practical way around a problem and generally results in a well intonated and controlled bend. You can try and get it with the left hand and have it sound a bit off, or bring in some support and really nail it. I know what I'd opt for, but I'll leave the decision up to you. These examples show you can use smaller quarter tone bends in compound bends or massive 2.5 tone bends. And they both sound great. Just remember to try and play in key and know what note you're targeting. Wildly bending and hoping for the best will not likely result in the most pleasing of guitar solos, or maybe it will, like statistically speaking, if you just randomly bend notes, eventually you should land a perfect solo. Quite a risk to undertake though. To recap, take your time and get the intonation sounding decent. Use the tremolo block or right hand if your left hand isn't consistent enough, and have a good idea of what note you're aiming for. Cool. As always, I really hope this video has been useful for you guys and it's been both speedy and informative. If you picked up a new trick, ideas, or way of overcoming a previous obstacle and can work this into your own technique and craft. If that has been the case, you've taken something away, want to show support for the channel, give it a wee pop in the YouTube algorithm, please do consider to share, like, comment and subscribe if you feel so inclined. Cheers guys.